Hi, this is Brandon from Talk Tech, back here again with another video. Today I'm going to be covering attributes. What are attributes, you might be asking? Well, attributes are kind of like special features that you can add or take away from a file. Now, really they're allowing you to enable, disable specific features for files and directories. These will include a variety of different things, such as making it to where you cannot delete the file, you can not update the access time, things like that. There's a bunch of other specific use cases for these, and that's the thing about them is they're designed to be for specific use cases. These are not general features that you're going to be using on a regular basis. There's only a few of them that I've actually come into contact with and have actually personally used myself. And keep in mind, I am no Linux guru by any stretch of the imagination. These is if you're just kind of using Linux casually, and doing your day-to-day, this is not something you may come into contact with very frequently. But hey, you talk to a Linux administrator and, I might be completely wrong. So I'm just speaking for this based on my own personal experience. Now, there's two commands that are going to be associated with attributes, and that's going to be the CHATTR command, which is change attribute, which allows you to either add or subtract these special attributes from a file. And then there is the LS attribute, ATTR, which is going to allow you to list the attributes associated with a file. These are part of the, I'm going to go ahead and type this one out for you. It is the E2 FS progs package. That's how, this is something that should already be done by default on pretty much any, at least modern Linux distribution. Attributes, one of the things about attributes is that they are typically not preserved by default on applications such as like copy, rsync, and other similar types of programs. So that's something to keep in mind if you're wanting to preserve these attributes on your file, that, hey, if I'm using X program, this may not work as far as preserving my attributes, and I may need to either take a different route, or I may need to go back and re-add those to that file. Now, the first command I want to go ahead and cover is the CHATTR command. So let's go ahead and do man CHATTR. And really what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to change the attributes on a Linux file. So the first thing that you're going to have is, of course, the command itself. Then you've got some options that are associated with it. There's only a few. There's the capital R, capital R, which is going to allow you to change the attributes of directories and their contents. Just like recursive works in many other applications out there. There's the capital V, which is for verbose with the output, as well as printing the program's version. You can suppress any error messages with TACF. You can get the version itself just by doing TAC lowercase v, and then you can use lowercase p for project. I've never dealt with project numbers, so that's not something that I'm familiar with, but that is an option that you do have. Now, there's multiple different actual attributes that are available, and you can see if you actually go through the man page itself, there's quite a few of them here. I'm not going to cover all of them just because it's available in the man page, and that'll take quite a bit of time to cover all those. I'm going to just cover three kind of ones that I've come into contact with, and would be ones that I would be more likely to use during whatever it is that I'm doing. But keep in mind, if you have any questions about the different attributes, hit up the man page. That'll have all the information that you need. So the first one I want to kind of cover is the lowercase a attribute. A file with a lowercase a attribute set can only be opened in a pen mode for writing. Only the super user or a processing the cap Linux immutable capability can set or clear this attribute. So basically what this means is that you'll only be able to append a file. So I've actually got a test file. So what we're going to do here is we're actually just going to open that up and let's go ahead and open, I think I have test. I think I've installed here, yeah. So there's nothing in here. Let's just type some text. Let's just type line 1, line 2, and then line 3. All right, so let's go ahead and just issue a WQ. All right, like that. So we'll just go ahead and just do a cat of that file real quick. lines 1, 2, 3, perfect. So we can see that. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and set this attribute. So again, you're going to go ahead and go to the CHATTR, and then you're going to go to, you're going to use the, which this is going to be called the mode, which is going to be either plus for adding or minus for subtracting, or for taking it off. So we're going to do that. We're going to put A, and then we're going to do test. Oops, and we got to go ahead and make sure we're in sudo. All right, perfect. And if you want to go ahead and look at the actual the output, as I said, you'll use the lsattr, and then you'll go ahead and put the file name in there. And we can see that this one has the A and the E. The E is actually for the, since it's coming up in this output, we'll cover it. The E attribute indicates that the file is using extents for mapping the blocks on the disk. It may not be removed by CHATTR, so has to do with the way data is actually being stored on the disk itself. So that's one that's pretty much on every single file. All right, so we've got that attribute set. Now let's go ahead and just put, let's just do line. Actually, let's just do an echo line 4. We're going to do this, and we're going to go to test operation not permitted. Okay. That's exactly what we should get. Now, the reason that it's not being permitted is because we have that lowercase a assigned to this file. Now, let's try with sudo. Actually, we'll just do this. We'll go back to the front. Operation not permitted. And see, even as a super user, we're not going to be able to go ahead and make that change. And keep in mind, that's something that it told us here inside of the description of this attribute, is that it can only the super user or the processing the cap Linux immutable capability can set or clear this attribute. So nobody can do anything with this. So that's not something that, if you want to keep somebody from making those changes to your file, this is an attribute that you can go ahead and set and make sure that there's not going to be any unauthorized changes. Now keep in mind, there are other more complex ways to do this, using other access control lists or SE Linux and things like that, but we're sticking solely here to attributes. Now the next attribute I want to go ahead and cover is going to be the capital A. I'm not going to be showing you this one. I'll give you a little bit of insight into what the A time is. But when a file is appended with this attribute, its A time record is not permitted. Is not modified. This avoids a certain amount of disk I/O for input and output for laptop systems. Now, essentially, what the A time is you have 3 times that are going to be associated with a file, and you can get those 3 times. You can see those 3 times with the stat command. The stat command is going to go ahead and give you a bunch of information about the file. We have the access time, modify time, and change time. These are the 3 primary times that you're going to be looking at associated with a file. The access time is the last time that the file was actually accessed. The modify time is going to be the last time it was modified, and the changes time is the last time that you you updated any of the characteristics of the file or made any modifications to the file. So if you go ahead and set this anytime that you access the file, it's not going to update this time right here. So if you don't want somebody to know that you were inside of a file, at least as far as the access time goes, this is a way that you can do that. And keep in mind, anybody else accessing this, it's not going to update the access time. So that's something to be mindful of. Now, one of the other attributes here, and this is the one that I think is really cool, is the immutable, which is the lowercase I. And essentially what this one does is you cannot delete or rename or create a link of the file. Most of the file's metadata cannot be modified, and the file cannot be opened in write mode. Only the super user or a process processing the cap Linux immutable capability can set or clear this attribute. So let's go ahead and just add that to our file here. All right, we're going to go ahead and add lowercase I. We're going to do test. We got to make sure to put a sudo on there. Perfect. There we go. And we've got that updated here. And let's go ahead and run an lsattr and then test file. Let's see what we got there. Boom, we got it there. The I and the A. All right, so perfect. So now let's go ahead and issue a remove. Again, getting the same thing here. Test file operation not permitted. All right, let's try it with sudo again. Oops. Oh, whoops. Got to make sure to put the RM there. There we go. Operation not permitted. All right, so yeah, we can see that the attribute is working as intended. Now, to kind of just cover a little bit more about the about using the chattr command, is we can go ahead and remove these. We can just do chattr. And then we're going to do minus AI, and then we're going to do test. All right, perfect. Let's do an lsattr test file, and then now we can see only the E is there again. So that's exactly what we want. So that's going ahead and adding those attributes, and that's taking away those attributes. Now, I want to go ahead and just cover a little bit more about the lsattr command. All right, this one also has multiple options you can use. I'm not going to cover all of these options. I'm going to just cover two of them in particular. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to do lsattr, and then you'll go ahead and do the option, then the file name. So two commonly used ones are going to be the capital R, which is recursively, which will list the attributes of directories and their contents. And then the other one is going to be the lowercase l, which is print the options using long names instead of single character abbreviations. So we can see here that it's got just this. And if you're not super familiar and you don't really feel like going all the way to the man page, what you can do is you can go ahead and just do this. You can just do lsattr l test file. And it tells you right there, boom, it's got the extents there. So all right, that's pretty much all that I had in regards to attributes. So let me know if there's any questions you have in regards to attributes, or if you want to see any videos on these other topics, such as access control lists, SE Linux, and things like that. Please leave a comment down below and let me know. Like the video, subscribe, for more content, related to Linux and other things about the tech world. I thank you very much for watching my video, and have a great day.